Thank you, Chair. Mr. Commissioner, please tell me, do you personally really believe that your Green Deal eco schemes policy changes climate? That you change temperature all over the continent? That you are some kind of rain, wind whisperer and you change climate? Tell me, please. And if your answer is yes, I do believe strongly, then my other question would be, aren't you a bit, at least a bit, afraid that you will end up in history where the previous Soviet Union puppet masters, politicians and geniuses like Lysenko or Michurin ended up some dump place of history, looking funny? Aren't you a bit afraid of looking funny, persistently repeating all this climate change nonsense, because it is pure nonsense? And since you are dealing with substantial amounts of money, and this is my people's money also, Polish people's money, and you are making our situation more and more miserable by turning into ruin, devastating our agriculture, our mining, and so on and so on. Aren't you at least a bit afraid that in the future you might end up not only looking funny, but sitting at some Nuremberg 2.0, being accused of bringing disasters at a criminal scale to our people's, our nation's lives? Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll give the floor to the Commissioner, but I insist that no one in this room looks funny. And I think most of us still have the immunity. Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you as well, Mr. Braun, for your comments, which is not directly linked to the financial years we should be considering, but nonetheless, maybe I ask you a counter question. Have you ever driven a tractor or worked a field? I do. I'm a farmer's son and a farmer's brother.
Yes, sir. I spent years working from time to time at Polish villages with my relatives and friends. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm afraid you are not. But please answer my question. Do you believe you are a rainmaker, wind whisperer, changing climate, changing temperature all over the continent? Do you believe?
That is not my task, neither of my portfolio, nor am I a rainmaker or whatever. But I can tell you.
No, if you ask a question, you have to answer.
I can tell you that the farmers that I meet are as well the first victims of climate change. And when you speak to the farmers, they are faced with floods, they are faced with droughts, and these effects with wildfires, and these effects are becoming ever more frequent. And as you know, we have as well a very tiny little agriculture reserve of 450 million euros annually. This is by far not sufficient to cover up for all these dramatic climate events, and our farmers are the first victims. What we need to do is to design this policy correctly in order that they can continue to produce, in order that they can adapt to climate change, if it is, for example, in investments into irrigation, because as well in Poland you have suffered from the droughts, you have suffered from the floods, and we need to adapt to that. And we need to deploy the technology and enable the farmers. So if you change the climate or I change the climate, I don't give a goddamn whatever. Therefore, I think it is very important that we think about the farmers and not about some ideological things. It is really important to make the farmers' lives easier and we have cut the administrative burden significantly from the past, and I believe you know the former commissioner as well, in charge of agriculture. We have cut significantly down on the red tape. We have proposed in the second week of my mandate 2 proposals on the unfair trading practices in order to allow the farmers to get a better revenue, in order to get them better organized in producer organizations, and in order to tackle the unfair trading practices cross-border. So I think I am addressing an issue here and making the production and the life of farmers better. I don't see why you do it, but I think this is all out of scope anyhow of this discussion.
Thank you very much. Now I see that you
don't have the floor. The floor goes to our colleague, Mr. Aftias. And please close the microphone. Mr. Brown, close the microphone.
Mr. Brown, I was expecting your request, please.
So this discussion over and over about possible enlargement of the Euro-Soviet project is becoming more and more pathetic. I hope the next term, next years, we'll have discussions about how to dismantle this totally wrong, collapsing, and, well, enemy-like project, and we will be discussing how to make it possible, make it sooner to help European nations regain their independence. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Madam Reichsführerin von der Leyen, for making my life so much easier, for making my work so much easier, because after you present, just another time, you present your vision of spending more and more money of European taxpayers for your insane projects like Migration Pact, like Green Deal, like continuation of war in Ukraine. It's much easier to explain to my compatriots that the only reasonable way we have to choose is Polexit. Poland has to leave this very deeply wrong and very dangerous project that Eurokolkhoz, the European Union, is now. And I've been there, I've seen that, I've heard the speeches of the Soviet secretaries who were also mentioning progress and development and boosting and speeding by spending more and more.
Next speaker is el señor Donato.